All around the world, people report seeing UFOs. Dating back to ancient civilizations, archaeologists and scientists have evaluated monuments and structures such as the pyramids of Giza, Bumapunku, Teotihuacan, and have concluded with the possibility of them being alienated. This documentary will break down into different parts, starting with extraterrestrials and their relation to ancient civilizations, to UFO sightings and people's opinions on extraterrestrial life. The Great Pyramids of Giza are considered to be one of the world's most marvelous structures. The pyramid is 146 meters in height and has a mass of 6 million tons. It is a gigantic structure built with an enormous amount of heavy stones. It is said that the weight of one stone is equivalent to the mass of 10 trucks. How are those stones lifted and placed on top of one another without modern technology is yet a mystery. Even with modern technology, this task is not very easy. The process of levitation might have been done moving these stones. This is a theory that can be assumed. The Great Pyramids of Giza can be assumed to have taken help from visitors during the process of building these pyramids. They are the oldest of the 7 wonders of the world. It has been looked into, and the pyramids intersect between the longest line of latitude, 31.1 north, as well as the longest line of longitude, 29.97 east. This theory is well supported due to the fact that humans did not know about the dimensions of planet Earth back then. So in conclusion, to build such a structure without the intelligence of other beings inhabiting this universe is naive. William Henry, author and mythologist, said, "The Great Pyramid, it is the most wondrous place on earth, and when you are standing in front of it, you are confronted with the greatest mystery of all time. Who built this place? How could it have been constructed? Why is this still standing?" And then when you go inside it, you have a feeling that you are in the hands of an extraordinary intelligence. In the end, many may come to a conclusion whereas extraterrestrials visited these civilizations, gave them blueprints, and told them to build such structures. Others decide to think otherwise. In the end, what you believe is yours to decide. The Pumapunku Ruins, located at Tiwak, Bolivia. It consists of one of the oldest stone structures on planet Earth. Many archaeologists have been fascinated, even confused, as they have examined most of the ancient stone cutting techniques, and none of them match the accuracy and perfection that this ancient ruin consists of. The stones that were used to craft the ruins are granite. The only stone that is harder than granite is diamond. Logically, this ancient civilization must have used diamond tools for such stone cutting techniques. After examination, there was no doubt that the stones were cut to perfection, as the sides were straight and the holes were in perfect circles. The blocks fit into one another perfectly and beautifully. The weight of each stone excess 800 tons. This raised confusion among scientists and archaeologists, as the nearest quarry was 10 miles away. This seems to be getting impossible. Even with modern technology, this task must have been a handful. This makes you wonder whether this ancient civilization had any help from extraterrestrial life. The Pumapunku Ruins is a very sophisticated structure. To build such a monument, the idea must have been planned through very thoroughly. But as of now, there is no evidence. More, however, why would they make such sophisticated structures? Maybe as a sign? A symbol? Ancient alien theorists have looked into the religion of Tiahuanaco. This religion is based on the thunder god Baracona. This makes you think maybe it was based on religious purposes, or maybe this ancient civilization received help from extraterrestrial life. Teotihuacan is an ancient city in Mexico. It consists of the Pyramid of the Sun. The Pyramid of the Sun is the largest structure within the ancient city. Nahuatl-speaking Aztec at central Mexico built it over 1,000 years ago. Archaeologist at Arizona State University, George Calco, claims that a population of 100,000 inhabited this city. Professor Saburo Sugiyama of Aichi Prefectural University in Japan and Mexican archaeologist Ruben Cabrera have been inside the Pyramid of the Moon. It was under stones and dirt buried beneath the ancient city of Teotihuacan. Crafting by the ancient people have led us to believe that the culture of Teotihuacan was brutal. Inside the pyramid, researchers found bodies of animals and humans that were buried. Their heads were cut off as a form of sacrifice or an offering to the gods. The translation for Teotihuacan is the City of Gods. Dr. Hugh Harleston Jr. carried out a mathematical survey which later indicated that the principal structures line up along the Street of the Dead. Later on, he concluded with the assumption that Teotihuacan was an exact scale model of the solar system that was later discovered long after the time of the Teotihuacan time period. Also, many astronomers agree that the Teotihuacan had help from extraterrestrial life due to the fact that Uranus, Pluto, and Neptune were embedded into the model scale of the solar system. These 3 planets were not later discovered until 1787, 1846, and 1930.
bueno, זה יורד למטה. אתה מצלם? אתה רואה?
אני רואה מה זה.
תגיד, שתינו יותר מדי?
לא, לא, כולנו רואים את זה.
מה זה?
חמישה עיניים.
שיו!
What is your opinion on this video?
Whether I think it's true or not.
Yes.
Whether it was a UFO, I don't know. I'd like a little bit. I'd like a little bit more information about it. It's a clip from a news program for a couple of minutes, and we saw something flashing up in the sky incredibly quickly. I'd like to know more about it before I gave myself a really, gave you a real answer. It looks like nothing I've ever seen before, particularly the speed at which it went up in the sky. So it's obviously something unusual. Was it a UFO? No idea.
For centuries, strange designs have appeared on crop fields symbolizing other intelligence. They are known as crop circles. Many believe that these symbols have been created by extraterrestrial life, and others believe that it is a hoax. The first crop circle sighting was during the mid-1970s of southern England. From then on, there have been different opinions from various people resulting as to whether crop circles are graffiti and art, or whether they are landing marks by extraterrestrials.
What is your opinion on crop circles?
Crop circles are things which have been made by humans, and for a while they deceived people who thought they were to do with aliens, but it's nothing of the sort.
It all began in Roswell, New Mexico. Roswell was home base for many early tests of atom bombs and guided missiles. Here also the practice of military stonewalling may have been perpetrated. The case began when Roswell businessman Dan Wilmot witnessed an amazing object over the town.
His son tells the story.
This was their home in July of 1947, and it was one summer evening they were sitting out here. Dad looked up in the west and saw an object that came down and had lights blinking, and it was rather frightening to him, but he said all of a sudden it seemed to rock a little bit and sort of counterbalanced itself, wiggle a little bit, and then seemed to settle down and take off at a rapid rate of speed.
The next day, reporters heard that the Air Force had found fragments of the mystery object crashed on a remote ranch northwest of Roswell. Excitement ran high until officials announced it was only a weather balloon. Major Jesse Marcel had this to say after several years.
They took pictures, of course. They had a whole flock of microphones there. They wanted me they wanted some comments from me, but I wasn't at liberty to do that. So all I could do is keep my mouth shut. And General Ramey is the one who discussed, told the newspapers, the newsmen, what it was and to forget about it. It was nothing more than a weather observation balloon, of course, which we both knew differently.
Guy Hotel was a special agent in charge of the FBI's Washington field office. An investigator for the Air Forces stated that 3 so-called flying saucers had been recovered in New Mexico. They were described as being circular in shape, with raised centers approximately 50 feet in diameter. Each one was occupied by 3 bodies of human shape, but only 3 feet tall, dressed in metallic cloth of a very fine texture. Each body was bandaged in a manner similar to the blackout suits used by speed flyers and test pilots.
And you're on the air. Hello.
Hello, Art.
Yes.
Hi. I don't have a whole lot of time.
Well, look, let's begin by finding out whether you're using this line properly or not.
Area 51.
Yeah, that's right. Were you an employee or are you now?
A former employee.
Former employee.
I was let go on a medical discharge about a week ago, and I've kind of been running across the country. Oh man, I don't know where to start. They're gonna they'll triangulate on this position really soon.
So you can't spend a lot of time on the phone. So give us something quick.
Okay. Okay. What we're thinking of as aliens, Art, they're extra-dimensional beings that an earlier precursor of the space program made contact with. They are not what they claim to be. They have infiltrated a lot of aspects of the military establishment, particularly the Area 51. The disasters that are coming, the military, I'm sorry, the government knows about them, and there's a lot of safe areas in this world that they could begin moving the population to now, Art.
But they're not doing anything.
They are not. They want the major population centers wiped out so that the few that are left will be more easily controllable.
Discharge.
I started getting...
What's the first thought on your mind when you hear the word extraterrestrial?
Aliens. I also think they're bigger than us, smarter than us. When I think how big they are, I think they're the size of a building. Or they're scary and have tentacles, like squid.
The probability of extraterrestrial life is very high because we can't be the only ones. There has to be some other creatures and some other Earth-like planet. So to believe we're the only ones is being very ignorant.
Considering how small Earth is, you know, in this vast universe, I feel like there is definitely possibility of extraterrestrial life other than on this planet. You know, I see sometimes people thinking that it's impossible for life to exist other than on Earth, and I feel like it's totally naive of them to believe in something, so, you know, these sort of stuff.
Terrestrial life is definitely a possibility if we consider the size of our universe, and you know, we have billions of galaxies and multi-billions of stars. There has to be Earth-like planets, maybe hundreds and thousands of them, and even if a small fraction of those planets have life, it's definitely a possibility.